Hello, I am Raging Amish, and welcome back to a third installment of the Amish Madness on one Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever it is. I don't know, daylight saving times is messing with my brain, folks, so... yeah. The MP5! I like this SMG. It actually doesn't perform that bad with rapid fire and kick. It's actually a very, very reliable gun. But, the MP5 brings out, frustrations for me. What I mean by that is, on the one hand, it's powerful enough with rapid fire, 800 RPM up to 960 or whatever. So, I mean, it's not like the gun lacks in power, but remember a while ago when the developer said, oh, we're going to give guns stopping power by default? Well, if you had actually done that, the MP5, like if you go by what it did in Call of Duty 4, it would have become a 2 to 4 hit kill by default. And instead, the gun didn't do that. I think they might have upped the fire rate a little bit, but I don't even know if they did that. It bothers me when the developers say they'll do one thing and they do another. It drives you mad, especially when you consider I'm all about reviewing weapons, you know, reviewing the facts about guns. Oh, and there goes my washer and dryer. You might hear a slight rumbling in the background. I am currently doing some laundry. It'd be kind of fun if I did a review and you could hear that, but don't worry, you'll never hear that in a review. Oh, so the MP5. I like the gun. I think it's more the nostalgic factor and the fact that it's kind of that classy SMG you see in the movies all the time. The one I remembered it was from Die Hard, but trust me, it's everywhere. Since you see it in law enforcement a lot. But that's really all I have to say about it. Because, unfortunately, the MP5 kind of loses out to its competition. The PP90M1, the MP7, and the P90. I think you could get more out of those three SMGs than you can with the MP5. Does that mean it's useless? No, but I think it does mean it's outclassed. So in that respect, shame on you, Infinity Ward, what were you thinking? A good way to balance the MP5, just like with the UMP, might have been to do something like, say, you get a 1.1 multiplier to the chest up, and so like the slower rate of fire SMGs have a shot at getting a 2-hit kill. It's not likely, but you could potentially do it. I'm not saying it would be... I'm not saying it would absolutely work, but I think it's something that I would try. But that's all I got for the MP5. Looks like I'm cleaning up with the Amish Madness, and one of the things I've been debating bringing up, and I don't know if I should go into this because it can get into really sensitive territory. I've been thinking a lot about politics lately, and specifically watching the Republican primary. Now, I would just get this out of the way right up front. I am very moderate. I would consider myself an independent. I lean slightly conservative, but overall I would say, like, I can understand arguments from both sides, both parties. I do not like that America only has a bipartisan setup. I wish we had something more like in Europe where you could have, say, 4 or 5 parties where each party, you know, represents a certain political ideal. Because, what is it? I think they said 40% of Americans consider themselves to be independents now. Well, that means, logically, there's 30% Democrats and 30% Republican. So the party that should have the White House right now would be an independent party. And actually, you could argue Obama is a moderate Democrat, so maybe we do have an independent in the White House. But yeah, I know this is a loaded statement, but I do like Obama. I think, considering the situation he was given... he did a pretty good job. I'm not going to say I'm crazy about everything he does. He's taken some gigantic leaps of presidential power. What was it? They recently said that if you were considered an American terrorist abroad, that you do not need, or you should, what was it? You are not entitled to due process and law. And I'm like, oh boy, oh that's a little bit much. But hey, it's what they did. I mean, that's like Bush-type stuff, you know, taking leaps in presidential power. But I don't like it when people say that he's a socialist. Unfortunately, in this country, when you hear the word socialism, it brings the idea of commies in the 1950s into the picture. And in reality, socialism is like, it's just more like a distribution of wealth. I would consider the best example of socialism the social democracies that you see in Europe. Because that's really what it is. It's a hybrid that's more democratic with some elements of socialism. The idea that the government pays for more of what you get. I remember being in Germany and living with the host family, where they probably paid about 46 to 50% of their income in taxes, but you got way more for it. You got health care, you got mass transit like crazy, buses, trains, you name it. It was I liked the system because there was definitely more distribution of the wealth. You didn't have a 1%, which is a whole nother issue. I'm sorry, but it bothers me that in America you basically have a system that's set up so that the 1% can keep the wealth. One of the things I remember Fox News saying was, they're like, why are people getting all riled up? Yes, 1% has, like, you know, all this wealth, but they pay 45% of the taxes. I'm going, okay, you pay 45% of the taxes, but you have 90% of the wealth. This does not compute. Are you familiar with the robot phrase? Does not compute. I'm sorry, it's, you're not going to pull a fast one on me. Believe me, I consider myself to be a conservative by nature, but the Republican Party is not the conservative party anymore. It is a voice for the wealthy, in my opinion. And if you need proof, well, look at Mitt Romney. He's going to win the nomination. I mean, what was it? His kids got up in a line to spell his name on the stage, and they accidentally spelled out "our money." Oh, that's a Freudian slip if I've ever seen one. And the other Republican nominees, Rick Santorum. Oh my goodness, my state nominated him. I am so ashamed to say that. I will give him this, he's honest, and you can tell that he's honestly thinking you can tell he thinks he's doing what's best for this country, but oh my goodness, he's nuts. He got up on stage and said, Obama wants everybody to go to college. What a snob. I'm like, that's not what he said. Obama said every American should make a goal to have at least 1 year in higher education, be it technical school or college. You know, it doesn't, like he said, you know, just every American should set a goal to be educated. I'm going, you know, that's reasonable. That is completely reasonable. Oh, and the last one, Newt Gingrich. I'm sorry, it was funny when he came out. He's like, in the Florida primary, he goes, well, I'm going to put a moon on the base by the end of my second term. I'm going, really? Mr. Moon Base. Not grandiose at all. It's a shame, actually. The guy who I could probably associate with the most, which would be Ron Paul, because he's really a libertarian in Republican shoes, but he seems the most consistent. He'd be the closest to what I would consider my conservative beliefs, but he's too libertarian for my blood. He's a little too hands-off. And in this economy, in this setup where you consider how much wealth is in so few people, it ain't gonna work. I'm sorry, America is slowly drifting from a democracy to a hybrid between a democracy and an oligarchy. And what that means is that the power is in few. It's in a few... Sorry, I can't speak English today. Oligarchy means that power is in the hands of a few people rather than like a dictatorship where it's in the hands of one person. That's my opinion. I mean, I'm sorry. Power goes where the wealth is. That's just how it works. But I make it sound like the country's going down the tube. But I think things will slowly progress. As long as Obama wins the next election, I think things are going to keep going forward. I like his energy policies. He's pushing for what was it, like his all of the above energy policy? I don't know. Sorry, there's only so much you can say about politics in one video, and really it's it's one of those things where I'm probably going to lose a few of you because you're going to go, oh, his political ideals are not matching with what I think, but I'm just putting my 2 cents out there. Take it for what you will. I'm open to arguing, but yeah, that's my 2 cents. I would say I lean slightly conservative, but Obama is probably the best candidate for my beliefs because he's a moderate Democrat, rather than with the 4 candidates we got left who are way on the right. Alright, that's it for this video. I'm running out of clips. This is Rainy Amish checking out.